وسهلا بكل الذين ينضموا للاستماع إلى راديو بلدي، أول راديو عربي أمريكي ويعنى بقضايا العرب في المهجر. برامجنا في راديو بلدي كل يوم جمعة من 8 وحتى 9 صباحا مع ليلى الحسيني في بث حي ومباشر وعبر WNZK راديو 690 AM. صباح الخير بلدي، صباح الخير لكل مستمعينا.
Welcome to Radio Baladi, the first Arab, Middle Eastern, and American simulcast radio show. Radio Baladi is broadcast every Friday morning on WNZK 690 AM from 8 until 9 Eastern Time on Good Morning Michigan with Layla Al-Husseini. Our call-in number 248-557-3300. And now, stay tuned for the best radio talk show on Arab and American issues with your host, Layla Al-Husseini.
Good morning and thank you for being with us. This is the Local Connections with Khalil Hachem, editor of Michigan.com, the fastest growing business magazine in the Middle Eastern communities in Michigan. This show is brought to you in cooperation between US Arab Radio and Michigan.com. Our best wishes to the founder of US Arab Radio and president of US Arab Radio, Layla Al-Husni. Great job in keeping this wonderful station going. You know, I'm going to talk about this later on, but I also want to mention it in the introduction as well. You guys have no idea and how important it is for this radio station to stay on and what Layla does to keep it on. So if you can support us in this endeavor and support US Arab Radio, we really appreciate it. Today is Friday, September 25th, 2020. The weather is great and temperature is expected to reach 78. We're going to be discussing a different topic and, we have the Supreme Court nomination, and then we have the voting, then we have the COVID-19, and there's a lot to get to this hour. And we thank you for being with us. If you have any questions, please give us a call. The number is 248-557 and 557-3300. And we welcome your questions, your comments in Arabic and English. And we would love to hear from you on these important topics. These are very important topics, and we're going to be starting with the replacement of Justice Ginsburg. As you well know, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died recently, and she was at the Capitol today. She was the first woman to lie in state at the Capitol. Lie in state means they put her coffin in a certain area at the Capitol building, and people and staffers and everybody else, they come in and pay their respect to. The importance of her being on the court is that she has always fought for women's rights, and she has always fought for equality and justice. And I'm not saying that the others don't, but her being more pro-civil rights, more pro-minorities, more pro, if you will, she's not as conservative as the rest. She added a good balance to the court, and this is something very important. So her death is a big loss to the court. Right now, the court used to be, before her death, she used to be four people, four justices that were, we call them liberals, and then the other 5 conservative. With one of them, he was kind of in between. Sometimes he lent some balance to the court. The importance of the court being in such a composition is the fact that it would help us. The court interprets the law, and since the court interprets the law, and what happens is that it would that's the final saying of the matter in which what the law means. If we run into a problem, we have 3 branches of government. We have the executive branch, we have judicial branch, and then we have the congressional branch. And then each one of those kind of oversee or watches the other. But the judicial branch is very important because if the legislative or the executive does something that's not supposed to do, and they lend that balance. And for that reason, we asked our friend, Miss Barbara McQuade, Professor McQuade, to be with us this morning. Good morning, Professor McQuade.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, it's my great pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd like to remind you that Professor McQuade used to be the U.S. Attorney in Detroit, and now she is a professor at the University of Michigan, and we are very honored to have you. And Professor McQuade, in the introduction, I was talking about the role that Justice Ginsburg played, and the loss of her death, the loss of the balance on the court. Could you please help us understand more of that, if you would?
Yes, I think our courts are probably the branch of government that are least well known by the public because their work is done privately. We tend not to see them on television as much, but their decisions can be very impactful on our lives. They can invalidate laws. They defend provisions of the Constitution. It's their job really to say what the law is and to make sure that other branches of government, Congress when they're passing laws or the president when he's taking actions, don't go too far and exceed our constitutional rights. And so their role to protect all of us, especially minorities, anybody who doesn't control the popular vote, is really impacted by the decisions of the court. And Justice Ginsburg was a voice for maybe those who were lacking in representation. She had spent her life as a lawyer representing the rights of women and working toward gender equality, and also working toward the rights of men in gender equality cases where men were disadvantaged under the law in cases like survivor benefits and Social Security and in the military. And so protecting equality is a very important part of what the court does. And I think the absence of Ruth Bader Ginsburg will be felt by all of us.
Absolutely. Now, going right into replacing her, and because right now or before she died, we had 4, liberals and 5 conservative. One of the conservatives was kind of a little bit moderate conservative, and they provided a good balance on the court. Right now, replacing her with another conservative justice, how does that affect the interpretation of the law?
Well, I like to think that justices are interpreting the law honestly, honorably, and they're not just voting in the way of the party that nominated them to the court. But I do think that presidents choose justices who reflect their worldview, their view of the world. And so President Trump has been talking about nominating a very conservative justice to replace Justice Ginsburg. And so instead of, as you said, having this sort of 5-4 split by presidents who've been by justices who've been nominated by Republican presidents, we will now have a 6-3 split. And that, I think, makes it a little less likely that you'll see these more even-keeled decisions. Oftentimes you would see all it took was one justice, oftentimes Justice Roberts, the Chief Justice, to be a swing and to uphold things like the Affordable Care Act. And so with a 6-3 majority, it seems more likely that you'll see laws that tend to favor a conservative viewpoint be upheld, and fewer cases where you'll see maybe the protector of the little guy, of the minority, of a person who is not part of the party in power.
Sometimes I wonder if this is the best way to nominate justices to the court. And, and as you said, if you have a conservative Congress, Senate, and then if you have a conservative president, and they're going to bring somebody who represents their view, and it may not represent the country's view, and I'm wondering this is the best way to do it. I mean, this is the way the law is. We're going to have to live with it, but sometimes I question that.
Yes, this is the way that the framers of the Constitution set up over 200 years ago, but certainly the world has changed. We've become much more entrenched in our political parties. And so, the idea was that the president would nominate with the advice and consent of the Senate, and the thought was by getting both of those branches involved, you would come up with a pretty good choice for the justice. What we have seen in more recent years is the Senate working in harmony with the president And so I don't know that they are working as the kind of check that was envisioned by the framers of the Constitution. And interestingly, one of the things that has highlights the dynamic that you're speaking about is that because President Trump was elected without a majority of the population, he won the Electoral College, but he lost the popular vote. And the same is true of George W. Bush. They each will now have appointed 5 justices, the majority of the court. And so we'll have 5 justices who can control the outcome and the destiny for all of us who are not elected or who are not appointed by a president who won the popular vote. So you raise a good point as to whether the system is working as the framers intended and whether it is not perhaps the time to rethink how we do that. There have been some calls to add justices to the court, to have more, to perhaps dilute that impact, or to put term limits on justices. They now serve for life. So someone who is appointed, if President Trump appoints a new justice, she is likely to serve for 30 years, so she can have a profound impact on the court. Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself served for 27 years. So it's a long time, and you have a long opportunity.
Absolutely. Should we wait for the next president to appoint a replacement?
Well, I think that in light of the fact that we saw in 2016, the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell refused to confirm President Obama's nominee, Merrick Garland, after the death of Justice Scalia, who died in February of the election year. And what Mitch McConnell said at the time is that in an election year, when we get this close to an election, we should let the people decide who the president will be to name that successor justice. I didn't necessarily agree with him at the time. I thought that with a death in February and that leaves 8 months in the president's term, that was sufficient time to confirm a nominee. I guess that's 10 months, really, because the term goes through January 20th. 11 months. With 11 months to go, that seemed like plenty of time to confirm a new justice. In this instance, we had the death of Justice Ginsburg in September, just 4 months before the end of the term. And so it seems that that argument should apply consistently. If Mitch McConnell thought it was inappropriate to confirm a justice with 11 months to go, then most certainly he should find it inappropriate to confirm a justice with 4 months to go. But nonetheless, within just an hour or so of Justice Ginsburg's death, he said the Senate will confirm a nominee named by President Trump. I think it shows a hypocrisy that is not just harmful for the party that's out of power, but I think it undermines the credibility of the court when it shows that sort of these naked politically motives are at work in selecting the people who will decide the cases before our nation's highest court. Absolutely, and also shakes the trust the people have in the system in general when they see all of these, whether the Republicans or Democrats playing politics with something as sacred as a judicial branch, which is supposed to rise above politics. It's really unfortunate. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. Is there anything I haven't asked you that's important to shed light on this issue?
Well, just, the value of diversity on the court. I'm pleased that President Trump has talked about appointing a woman to the court, but I hope that he will also consider other aspects of diversity that are so important. When the court is making these decisions, they sit in a room behind closed doors around a table and they talk about these things, and then they circulate opinions trying to persuade each other about why certain things should be legal or illegal from the LGBT community in that room. I would love to see all different perspectives represented, because I think the group will make better decisions when someone can raise the issues and the perspectives of so many that Americans share. Absolutely. We hope that it does not become a terrible battle and does not undermine the integrity of the court. I really want to thank you for taking the time to be with us, and I want to apologize to you about the confusion and calling in this morning. Oh, no worries at all. Just wanted to make sure I was there when you needed me. Thank you so much for the invitation. My honor to speak with you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're blessed to have you. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. Bye now.
Kushat's Mediterranean Market and Shish Kebab offers a great array of your favorite Mediterranean meals. Meals range from lamb specialties, shawarma sandwiches, seafood dinners, and they offer special big trays of your favorite food, plus much more. Kushat's Mediterranean Market and Shish Kebab address is 32839 Northwestern Highway in Farmington Hills. Their phone number is 248-538-9552. That number again is 248-538-9552, and the supermarket is open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Kushat's Mediterranean Market and Shish Kebab will definitely leave you satisfied.
When you're looking for the best in optical care, Dr. Imad Nakash is your doctor to see. With years of experience and thousands of successful procedures performed, you can trust your eyes to Dr. Imad Nakash. See Dr. Imad Nakash and his professional staff for your eye care needs. There's 2 locations to serve you. In Hazel Park, call 248-336-3937. 248-336-3937. In Rochester Hills, call 248-299-3937. That's 248-299-3937.
Get ready for an amazing experience at Ishtar Restaurant on 15 Mile Road in Sterling Heights. Enjoy excellent hospitality from owners Ali Al-Baghdadi and Fadi Bonham, serving the best in Mediterranean food. Try Chef Ali Al-Baghdadi's famous shawarma, the best Iraqi grills and food, and the best Arabic and international dishes. Dine in our authentic atmosphere or take out. Call 586-698-2585 or check us out on Facebook. Ishtar Restaurant practices all CDC guidelines and is open every day 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Have an amazing experience today at Ishtar Restaurant, 3625 15 Mile Road, Sterling Heights.
Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem with DMMichigan.com and USR Radio, the local connections. As you well know, that Michigan voters have started casting ballots and for the 2020 presidential election. Early voting is now underway, and we're expecting a large turnout, thank God. We're supposed to do that every year. So we asked our friends from the Michigan League of Women Voters for Voter Services, Vice President of the League, Betsy Cushman, to join us. Betsy, good morning.
Good morning, Khalil. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us. And this is election season has started, and please tell us a little bit about you and your organization.
Well, I personally have been in the League of Women Voters for over 50 years. Hard to believe.
Wow.
Fun time. But the League has been going for 100 years. We're celebrating 100 years. We grew out of the women's suffrage movement, and women, once they got the right to vote, they thought, we want to use our vote wisely. So we formed a group that is nonpartisan. We've never supported or opposed political candidates or parties. We want everybody to know all the options. We want everyone to vote. We work hard for access for everyone to vote, and we want them to know what their choices are. So, because people talk so much about the president, but there are all these other very important races on the ballot. So we provide nonpartisan voter guides. We have print ones, and we have the print ones are already out for the statewide races, and then there's print ones for Dearborn Heights residents and Inkster residents. They're at the printer now, so they'll be coming out soon. But everyone can find out where their polling place is, because that could have changed this year because of the pandemic. And so then you go to vote411.org online, and you put in your address. And it's the wonderful thing about it is that only your races show up, so you don't have to worry what district am I in.
I've used your website for some time now, and I have recommended it for a lot of people. Every year we do a story at Michigan.com and include your sites there, and everybody tells us how simple it is for people to know who they're voting for before they go there. And what I like about your site is, and your work is nonpartisan, which is, we don't get a lot of independent work these days. So you guys do a great job. We thank you for that. Absolutely. What else we need to know about this election?
Well, there are many things that are helpful to know. One thing that's really important to know is that thanks to the Proposal 3 in 2018, so many wonderful changes have been made to make it easier to vote. for more people. And so now anyone can get an absentee ballot. You may know that, but that's a big change for people who've been voting, a long time. That's a wonderful change. So anyone can get an absentee ballot. We encourage people to vote absentee. It is, not only has Michigan voting never been easier, but it is safe and secure, despite what you hear. And we just are happy to hear that yesterday the state legislature made an exception for larger communities, that this election only, but at least it's a step in the right direction, that they can start preparing the absentee ballots the day ahead of time. They have 10 hours on the Monday to be able to prepare them so they can, on election day, because by law they can't open absentee ballots until election day. So we've tried to make changes in that, but that hasn't happened, but at least now we can get them done that way. So we're encouraging people to vote early. We're encouraging them to vote by absentee ballot or go in person by absentee ballot, but go in person to your clerk's office. Yesterday started 40 days of voting in person in your local clerk's office. It's by absentee ballot. But you can actually, if you want the experience of going in, if you're worried that maybe your signature won't match your signature, because they want to make sure that you are who you say you are. So you can do it all in your clerk's office. You can only do it in your clerk's office, but you can do that. If you're not registered to vote, you can register online now. You can register until October 21st, and then after that, you have to go into the last 2 weeks before the election. You'd have to go and register in person, and you'd have to bring proof of residency, and they've got a list, so you can find it online.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about this election for the fact that I anticipate a lot of people are going to vote, and we've been calling on people to participate and vote, and and you brought up something very important, is that we have very important issues on the ballot depending on where you are or where you live. And, don't overlook these, because these are far more important than what happens in Washington, because they affect you immediately. They affect your pocketbook, So this is something very, very important. Yeah. Now, do you do any other work to encourage people to vote?
Well, we try to spread the word about Vote 411. That is really important, because if people know what's on their ballot ahead of time, they're much more apt to because I know from all my years of working with voters is that they want to vote wisely. They want to know who they're voting for. And there's nothing worse than showing up voting and I don't know who these candidates are, and not knowing who to vote for. And maybe you vote for the name, but that doesn't mean they share your views. So I do really recommend. So we do that. We have candidate forums in certain areas. We bring candidates. We do it all remotely, on Zoom or webinar or some way of holding candidate forums. And again, you can find that on Vote 411 if you go to your at the end of all your.
What's the website?
Vote411.org.
Okay, it doesn't get any easier than that. 411.org, and you can find all the information you need. And then if you need to reach the league, you can reach them also. I go to that site often. There are a lot of good information there. Betsy, I want to thank you so much for
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Resources, because if you have questions, go to Michigan Voting, all one word, .org. That's a coalition of election protection coalition that ACLU, NAACP, Access, League of Women Voters. So there's 50 organizations that are involved in that, and we have the Know Your Rights booklet so that you know what your voting rights are, and that's in Arabic and Bengali and
languages.
English. Yeah, several languages.
That's MichiganVoting.org, is that right?
Yes, it's a wonderful resource. And also, please know, we need poll workers. We need poll workers in Dearborn. We need them in Detroit. I don't know where your audience is from, but we really do need poll workers, especially those who have language ability, who know another language. And it's a paid position. If you join through MichiganVoting.org, you can actually find out that they will do some additional training and then find out where you're willing to go and go where you're most needed. And then you'll be trained on that job. But it really is it's hard, it's hard, but that's a great way of protecting the vote, is having people who are poll workers who care that we want everyone to be able to
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. And again, the website is 411.org. And then the other one is MichiganVoting.org. Ms. Cushman, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Mr. Hachem.
Absolutely. Okay. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Donna, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
At Top Rehab Physical Therapy Clinic in Dearborn, we provide effective physical therapy sessions in order to limit pain and discomfort. Top Rehab provides physical therapy care for any diagnosis prescribed by a physician, and we regularly see and treat conditions such as stroke, TMJ, fibromyalgia, sciatica, joint pain, and more. We use a variety of pain management methods, including modalities, soft tissue mobilization, and therapeutic exercise. If you're in need of physical rehabilitation or physical therapy, get the highest quality health care at Top Rehab. Most insurance is accepted, and we're open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday 8 to 6, Tuesday and Thursday 8 to 5, and Saturday 10 till 2. Call for an appointment today at 313-846-0555. That's 313-846-0555. Choose Top Rehab Physical Therapy Clinic on Michigan Avenue in Dearborn. Life's too short to be in pain. When it comes to reproductive medicine, IVF Michigan Fertility Centers are the recognized leaders. With locations in Bloomfield Hills and 5 other cities in Michigan and Ohio, IVF has experts in all aspects of the field. As a founding member of IVF Michigan Fertility Centers, Dr. Nicholas Shama is one of the leading reproductive endocrinologists in Michigan and Ohio. Dr. Shama has performed over 10,000 IVF cases and has helped thousands of couples fulfill their dreams of parenthood. American board certified in both obstetrics and gynecology and reproductive endocrinology and infertility, Dr. Nicholas Shama is a very caring, compassionate, expert physician that understands not only the medical but also the emotional toil of infertility on his patients. When it's time, get personalized care from Dr. Nicholas Shama at IVF Michigan Fertility Centers in Michigan and Ohio. Call toll-free 855-952-9600, 855-952-9600.
Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem with the Michigan.com and Yes Arab Radio. This is the local connection. I would like to thank Barbara McQuade for being with us. It's always a pleasure for us to have Barbara on. She's Professor McQuade. She always offers great insight. Also, Betsy Cushman from the Women League, Voting League. I also want to, mention to you one thing is it's so important that you start early this year on the election, because if there's something you don't understand, you have time to really research it so you can vote for the right person and then vote the best way for whatever issue is on the ballot. The second topic is going to be about the flu shot, and it's going to get an update on the COVID-19 vaccine with Dr. Fadi Mustarah, and as we await him. Just want to give a little introduction about Dr. Mustarah. He's a board-certified surgeon and health researcher with a master's in public health. He is a national expert and experienced general and weight loss surgeon practicing in Bloomfield Hills. I asked Dr. Mustarah to be with us because he's a member of the American Society of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery and works on developing practice guidelines and standards. He offers surgical weight loss solutions using advanced techniques to help improve health. And with this new pandemic, decreases the risk of COVID-19 in affected individuals. His office offers medical services to national and international patients seeking high-quality, advanced weight loss surgery. For an appointment, you can reach Dr. Mustarah's office at 248-334-5444 or email him at f.mustarah, MOUSTARAH @hotmail.com. We'll have all that information on our website, so if you need any information on that, you can talk to him as well, and you can find that information. Later on, I'm going to mention a promo that Dr. Mustarah is offering, but right now, I would like to welcome Dr. Mustarah. Good morning, Dr. Mustarah.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's a pleasure always.
Thank you. As you well know, we're still dealing with the pandemic, and then now we're starting with the flu season. And I take the shot every year, and my kids do. And, there are people who don't. How important is it to take the shot this year, the flu shot, and what's in the shot, and how does that work?
Okay, those are some very good questions, actually, and quite timely. I'm going to try to, with our discussion today, maybe focus on some of the relevant things that at least I think are going through some of the people's minds at this time, only because I told you I had to delay my surgery start today a little bit to be here. So
thank you for that, yeah.
And I will try to focus on the relevant. First, I would say, in answer to your question, that it is more important, I think, this year than in previous years to consider taking the flu shot if you haven't done so before. It is recommended for everybody as a general guideline over the age of 6 months. And why this season? And the answer is because, we're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's going to be hard to tell the difference between someone having the flu and someone having COVID symptom-wise. So just from a very basic benefit, to try to reduce your chance of getting these symptoms and confused between having influenza and COVID, and reduce the need to, seek medical health advice, see your provider, go to hospitals, clinics. It's very smart to take the flu shot and decrease, your chances of getting these common symptoms, which are cough and fever and shortness of breath, and they're quite similar, as you are well aware now, with both COVID-19 illness and as well as with the common seasonal flu. So that's one major reason to do it. We think that COVID-19 is still circulating out there. We don't know how long it will keep circulating. That remains an unknown at this point in time. We do know that previous SARS virus tended to have a limited lifespan, but this one seems to be pervasive and still doing havoc in the world populations. So by it coinciding with the flu season, which happens to start very soon now into the early mid to late fall and into the winter season in North America, it's very smart to consider taking that vaccine.
As far as the vaccine itself, it's not a live virus, is that correct? You're not going to get the flu if you take the shot.
Well, no. There are different forms of the virus, and that raises an important comment to make, that you should only take licensed vaccines. There are several out there. There's actually 3 or 4 of them, but there are 3 major types. One is called the inactivated influenza vaccine. The other, there is a variation that is a live attenuated influenza vaccine. And what that means by attenuated is that it's basically all the negative health effects of the vaccine, of the virus, is been eliminated by reducing the strength of this live virus strain and making it incapable of producing a disease, but still capable of producing an immune response in the people that take it. Now, that being said, this live attenuated influenza vaccine is available, but it's only recommended for certain populations. For example, we don't want to give the elderly a live attenuated influenza vaccine because as we age, all of us tend to have, our immune system tends to behave in a little bit of a different way, and the response to any foreign body becomes a little less than in our younger adult years. So those are two kinds of vaccines I mentioned. And then there's the recombinant influenza vaccine, which is a genetically made vaccine. And so these are the three major variations. And in the vaccines, you're asking usually what health organizations do, such as the CDC. They keep a surveillance annually about the different strains that are out there circulating in the population, and they try to license vaccines that target the most common strains and the strains that are perceived to most likely be circulating during that winter season. For example, our winter happens after the winter that in the southern hemisphere of the world, and so we get a sense of what's circulating down there, and that helps us, for example, predicting what we're likely to see. We also take into consideration what we saw last season, and most of the vaccines are what we call quadrivalent, which means they pack 4 different sort of strains of the influenza virus in the vaccine, protection against the different strains of influenza A and influenza B that commonly circulate. So I hope that answered that question and giving the listeners an idea.
And yes, and I'd like to mention that the vaccine is available everywhere. I took it at the pharmacy, at Target. You can go anywhere and get it. Any of the department stores have it everywhere. So it is available, and don't wait. I know you're rushed on time. Very, very quickly, what's the update on the COVID-19 vaccine?
Well, COVID vaccine is going through a lot. We're all aware of what's happening here in the U.S. and maybe a little bit so as well across the world. But I think in regards to the vaccine, I can say that there are a lot of developments. There are a lot of manufacturers right now that have moved into phase 3 clinical trials. What that means is that it's an advanced stage of testing the vaccines that they've developed. They've gone beyond the initial safety tests to trying them in bigger patient or in bigger study populations, and now they're moving into trying to see whether they're effective. And so there's a lot to be said there, and I think I don't want to confuse the listeners with the different vaccines that are out there and how they work and what makes one different from the other, because that can be a show in and of itself. But save it to say that, there's the leading 3 or 4 contenders that we've heard about: the Moderna vaccine, the AstraZeneca vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, and Johnson & Johnson just announced yesterday that they're advancing into phase 3 trials as well. And what that means is that they're going to be testing in large pools of people, meaning in the tens of thousands, and some studies in 30,000 plus adults are going to be tested with these vaccines. And the J&J studies over 60,000 adults. There are differences in terms of whether some of these vaccines need to be taken in a single dose to try to produce the immunity needed to protect us from the SARS coronavirus 2, or whether we take a single dose and that would suffice. So I think we're at a good stage of development, but a lot of people may have questions about, when will we have this coronavirus vaccine, and how confident should we be in it, type of thing. And I think that's what's running more in people's minds. So if you want to talk about that for a minute or two, I'll be happy to.
Absolutely. Hopefully they can keep the politics out of it, and as people, we really don't care who makes it as long as it's effective, and hopefully it can put an end to that. Very quickly, tell us about your practice, so we'll know what you do and the services you offer.
Well, I offer a range of weight loss solutions that have that include advanced laparoscopic procedures. And what that means, and people may be more familiar with the word keyhole as opposed to laparoscopic, but what it means is try to reduce basically the size of the incisions on the body to get to where we need to get, which is inside the abdominal cavity, and to try to offer solutions and surgeries that help people that need such treatments to significantly improve their weight loss and help them along their weight loss journey. reducing the risk of a myriad of diseases, from heart disease, from sleeping disorders, from diabetes, hypertension, and now with the pandemic, from the risk of COVID-19 if someone is unfortunate to actually pick up that virus and get sick with it. We've identified that obesity is a major risk factor for the more moderate to severe forms of this illness, and helping people with their weight loss journey is a focus of our practice. I also offer general surgical procedures that include general abdominal procedures and oncologic procedures and advanced robotic procedures. And we're actually located here close by in Oakland County in Bloomfield Hills, so I'm happy to be of help or assistance or further guidance to anyone seeking our services.
Okay. If you can reach Dr. Mustarah at 248-334-5444, or you can email him at f.mustarah@hotmail.com, and we'll have that information on our website. And the last thing I want to mention, that if you mentioned that you heard it on this show, you qualify for a no fee initial evaluation with Dr. Mustarah, and the promo is drop 925. We'll also have that information on our site. Dr. Mustarah, I know you're busy. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. And good luck with the surgery. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Talk soon. Thank you.
We're going to take a short break. Please stay tuned.
Life is a nonprofit charity that's provided humanitarian aid and development to people and communities for over 25 years, regardless of race, color, religion, or cultural background. When disaster occurs here or around the world, Life for Relief and Development rushes in to provide food, medical aid, and shelter to those in need. Please help improve these efforts. Make your tax-deductible donation to Life now at lifeusa.org or call 248-424-7493.
شايفك لازم بدي حالك عن إلي ساعة عم بستناك مشان نروح نتغدى بالشام. الشام؟ ايه بالشام ومو بالشام. شلون صارت هي؟ بدل ما نروح نتغدى بالشام ايه جابوا لنا الأكلات الشامية الطيبة لعنا لهم. وشلون بقى؟ هذا مطعم دماس عم يعمل كل الأكلات الشامية الطيبة هو. وطيبة؟ طيبة كتير. شرفوا نتغدى سوا بمطعم دماس.
الأكل الشامي الأصيل فقط بدماس كوزين. زوروهم على 28841 أورشد ليك بفارمينغتون هيلز، ولطلباتكم اتصلوا على 248-987-4609. That's 248-987-4609. دماس كوزين and catering، جبنا لكم الشام لعندكم.
Are you going to start a restaurant or grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Naji Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Naji Abood now, 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design, new location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Naji Abood, 734-744-9796.
Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. We've had... I want to thank Dr. Mustarah for being with us this morning, and he's absolutely correct. And and I'm speaking from experience. The flu shot is a must. It's so important, because I know a lot of people don't like vaccines, but this year is a must, because we want to do whatever we can to tackle the COVID-19 virus and get back to normal life. This has been going on for some time, and it's really taking a toll on all of us. Whatever we can do, aside from your thinking, your ideology, your pro-Trump, against Trump, Republican, Democrat, autocrat, whatever you are, This is about common sense. Common sense says that we need to do whatever we need to do scientifically in a good way, to really get a handle on that virus, control it, and then move on with our lives. So it's very important, whether you have to take a vaccine, whether you have to wear a mask. Today on the news, they had this woman fighting at a football game in Ohio, and she had to be escorted out because she didn't want to wear a mask. Come on. What's a wearing a mask going to kill you? To comply with public acts. These are laws. The law says you have to wear a mask to protect everybody else from the viruses that you have. If you have the virus, every time you're breathing, you're talking, whatever it is, you're spewing these diseases to everybody else. It's not, people tell me, oh, it's my right not to wear it. It is your right to do it at home. But when it comes to public safety, your rights end right there. Okay? Reasonably, your rights end right there. So don't be, rights or not, you have to have common sense. Okay? This is what I'm trying to say. You have to have common sense. And common sense says that, you protect yourself, protect your family, and then be smart. I mean, why you want to bring a virus back home to your family, to your children, to your parents, to your grandparents? Don't be selfish. Oh, I don't want to wear a mask. It's just, don't be selfish. Okay? I don't like wearing a mask. Personally, I don't, but I do. I wear it because, we have to take care of ourselves. In fact, when I wear a mask for more than 2 hours, I get a rash on my face. But even though I put a little lotion on it, because we have to do what we have to do to beat that virus and survive. We have to work together. We have to have some kind of a trust between us and the authorities. And this is going to be another topic for another time. Trust today is not, we don't have a lot of trust in the leadership in Washington, in Congress, even in the organizations that normally was not political, because the leadership in Washington is tainting those wells. For example, FDA, for example, CDC. The CDC, all of these scientists and doctors, one day they tell us do this, and one day they tell us do that. I don't know what to believe anymore. I really don't know what to believe. I'm a pro-science. I've always been pro-science. I used to be a mathematician, then a political scientist, then a reporter, and continue to be a reporter. But and I am pro-science, but I don't know what to believe. I don't like it when people play politics with science. Science, 1 + 1 = 2. You can't play with it. One day they said, oh, don't wear a mask. Another day they said, oh, you need to wear a mask. Now they're saying the virus can fly in the air. No, then does not fly. You know what? If you don't know, say, I don't know. Okay, I want to trust you. And if we can't trust you, we can't really get a handle on this problem. So it's very important. The message is, get your flu shot. Okay? If you're elderly, get your flu shot. Get another shot for, other issues, if you have other issues that you have to deal with, specifically the elderly. Okay? For pneumonia, for example. A lot of elderly die of pneumonia. So get the shot. We're all going to die, but why should you suffer? Just think about it. It's logical. We got brains, We don't just carry heads to just go to the barber shop, okay, and make the barber shop rich. No. We gotta have another function for carrying a head over our body. Assuming that if you're like me losing your hair, then you don't have to worry about it. But it's common sense. Don't lose your common sense. Oh, I'm a Republican. I don't want to do this. I'm a Democrat. I don't want to do this. You're a person before all of the stuff that you adopted. Okay, have common sense. Another thing about common sense is elections. Don't wait. Vote early. Okay? If you don't understand what's going on, vote early. Study the ballot. Vote for the right person. Don't get sucked into the hype of the presidential election. I don't care whose president you vote for. That's none of my business. That's your business. Okay? I'm an independent voter. Sometimes I voted conservative. Sometimes I voted Republican. Sometimes I voted Democrat. So it depends on the person. But whatever you do, just vote. Pay attention to the local issues. Local issues are very important because these are the issues that affect you. Even if you don't like anything on the ballot, just go and vote, okay? Because it's important to participate in this great right that we have, which is voting. It's very important, okay? Fall. We just started the fall. Fall time is a great time in Michigan. The change of colors, pumpkins. Pumpkins are not just for decoration. Pumpkins offer a lot of nutritional values. So make sure you get some of that and cook it. I make a variety of things with pumpkins. I make soups, I make dessert, I make main dishes. Pumpkins are great. There's a reason why, in this season we get pumpkins, we get apples, we get, because they have nutrients and vitamins. If you get enough of that, it will help you fight whatever, diseases that come in at this time of the year. So follow the season, follow the colors, okay? Add a lot more colors into your food. Eating meat and eating chicken is good, and I enjoy them all, and fish. But at the same time, you need to have some colors in your food. You need some vegetables, and follow the season. I drive for about half an hour to any of the fruit stands in the countryside, and I buy a lot of them. I just love the watermelons there, the melons, the way they smell, the eggplants, the corn, all of them. They're great. They're just great. And, this is the season. I bought a big pumpkin about a month ago. I was surprised there were pumpkins. Now there are pumpkins everywhere. So, pick a heavy one, roast it, eat it, make it with dessert, make a pudding out of it, make soup out of it. It's a great. So enjoy the season. Take a drive. Hopefully next week I'd like to take my family on a drive just to enjoy the colors, see where the colors are, enjoy them. It's a great phenomenon. And lastly, I want to talk to you a little bit about the housing market. The housing market's still going unbelievably great. Prices are so high. This week, twice, I went to show a house, and then we get to the house. While we're still there, they just put it on the market, okay? Same day. I'm there, and then I get a call from the agent who's listing the house saying, sorry, we sold the house. I mean, homes are selling in the same afternoon. If it is the right price, if it is the right location, if it is the right condition, they sell right away. If your home is not selling, something is wrong, okay? Something is wrong. You need to talk to the professional you're talking to. If you're not happy with that professional, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you. Something is wrong. It's either your price is too high, your condition is no good, but at the end of the day, if your price is right, you can sell right away. We're selling homes. I sold a home within 15 minutes, okay? I put it on the market. Within 15, 20 minutes, I had 3 offers. Somebody sent me an offer that didn't even see the house, okay? And talked to the owner. The owner said, well, we're going to go with this one. I don't want to wait any longer. This is a great offer. All of them were more than asking price. This is a great market. If you have a home to sell, give me a call. We can sell it for you immediately. This is a perfect time to sell, okay, because we don't have enough homes on the market. The interest rate is very low. People want to get into their homes. People paying more money when the homes is worth. Okay, this is your time to capitalize on that. I wouldn't wait. Yeah, some people say next year is going to be better. More likely so, but I wouldn't wait. Okay, I would not wait. This is the time to sell. Okay, give me a call. I'm also looking for a warehouse, 4,000 or 5,000 square foot warehouse, and for a client, if you have something in the Dearborn Heights area, in Detroit, in a surrounding area in Southeast Michigan, if you have a really nice one, give me a call. Let me know, 313-819-0101. And I want to mention two more deals to you that I'm selling. I listed. We have, if you're looking for a big warehouse, we have a 64,000 square foot building in a great spot south of Michigan Avenue and Harrison Road in Inkster. This is a compound of 4 buildings together, offers a great place for you to either use it as a warehouse or use it as a manufacturing area or whatever you want to use it for. The 4 buildings together sits on 4 acres at a very competitive price, incredible price, okay? A really incredible price. And 3 parcels, vacant land goes with the property as well. It's a very good deal. You're not going to find a good deal like that. And the beauty of it is that these, although they're together, but they're separate in a way in which you can rent each building to somebody else, so you can have 4 tenants there easily, or you can rent them to one person. It's a good place to rent, for warehouses or for anything else, any other things that they want to do in there. I also have 1.6 acres for development in Livonia on 5 Mile, and this piece of land was slated is zoned for multifamily. In 2006, 2008, they proposed a 16-unit condominium there, but the person did not develop them because he passed away. That's what I've been told. And then the property transferred to somebody else, and then that person does not want to develop it, but it's available for sale. This is a great project. Talking to the city, you may be able to modify the zoning some and propose other projects there as well. But it is a good place to put 16 units there, and for $250 a price is really incredible. You're not going to find a piece of land like that. 1.6 acres right on 5 Mile in Livonia. Livonia is a great city. So give me a call, 313-819-0101. 313-819-0101. If you go to our website, michigan.com, there's a lot of information there. Let me know, and I'll be more than happy to work with you and help you with your purchase, with your sales. Again, now is the time to sell. Okay? I can't stress that enough. I would sell now. I would not wait till next year. Next year, the price may still go up, but the right time to sell is right now. I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us. I want to thank Mike for great production. I want to thank Dr. Mustarah. I want to thank Betsy Cushman from the Women League voters, and also Professor McQuade, Barbara McQuade from the University of Michigan. Thank you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We appreciate your listening. Again, give me a call, 313-819-0101. Bye now.